It's been called the Doomsday Fish, a sea serpent whose appearance means a catastrophic earthquake is about to hit. For generations, this was the legend, a monster from the deep sent as an omen of destruction. But what if the truth is even more terrifying? What if the real horror of the oarfish isn't some myth it inspires, but the silent, ghostly reality of what it actually is? Forget the omens. The true story of the oarfish isn't about what it predicts for us, but what its existence reveals about the vast, unknown world it comes from. A world that, by all accounts, shouldn't be able to create something so large, so strange, and so utterly silent. The legend is as long as the creature itself. In Japan, it's known as Ryugu no Tsukai, which literally translates to the messenger from the sea god's palace. According to folklore, when these servants of the dragon god appeared on beaches, it was a warning that the earth itself was about to break. For centuries, this was just a story, a fisherman's tale, until it wasn't. In the months leading up to March 11th, 2011, at least 20 oarfish were found stranded on the coasts of Japan, a huge spike in sightings. Then, the Tohoku earthquake struck, a catastrophic magnitude 9.1 tremor that unleashed a devastating tsunami. In the aftermath, the old story resurfaced with a chilling new significance. Had the messengers been trying to warn them? This one event cemented the oarfish's global reputation. Imagine ancient sailors seeing a 36-foot-long, glistening silver ribbon with a fiery red crest just appear. It's no wonder they were the source of sea serpent legends. They looked like something not of this world, a sign that the natural order was breaking. But what is the truth? When we peel back the myths, does the science actually support a living earthquake detector? For a while, some scientists thought maybe. The hypothesis was that deep-sea fish could be sensitive to tiny movements in tectonic plates or gas releases that happen before a quake, causing them to flee. However, a landmark 2019 study put this theory completely to rest. Researchers in Japan combed through nearly 100 years of data, newspaper archives, scientific papers, everything they could find from 1928 onward. They checked 336 deep-sea fish sightings against 221 earthquakes. The conclusion? No connection whatsoever. The researchers found it was a classic case of illusory correlation. Our brains are just wired to find patterns, and when two dramatic but unrelated events happen, like a bizarre fish washing ashore and an earthquake, we instinctively link them. The legend is powerful, but the data simply isn't there. So if they aren't coming to warn us, why do they surface? The reality is actually kind of sad. Oarfish are creatures of the absolute deep. When they show up in our world, it's almost always because they are sick, injured, or dying. Strong currents can push them out of their deep water home, and once they're in the violent surface waters, their bodies, which are adapted for the calm of the deep, are battered to death. They aren't arriving as messengers, they're arriving as victims. And it's here, when you strip away the legend, that the true awe of the oarfish begins. Because what you're left with is one of the most extraordinary animals on the planet. The giant oarfish holds the Guinness World Record as the longest bony fish in existence. They've been confirmed at 26 feet, but are believed to reach up to 36 feet. That's longer than a bus. They can weigh up to 600 pounds. Their bodies are laterally compressed, like a massive, flat ribbon. They are completely scaleless, covered in a silvery skin that gives them a metallic shine. And running the entire length of this body is a vibrant, blood-red dorsal fin that starts on the head as a spectacular crest. It's a creature from a fantasy novel, but it is entirely real. To understand the oarfish, we have to go to its home, the mesopelagic zone, the twilight zone. This is a layer of ocean from 650 to over 3,300 feet down. The pressure here can exceed 1,500 pounds per square inch, enough to crush a submarine. Sunlight is just a faint blue glow that fades into absolute black. This is the oarfish's kingdom. And its survival strategy here is deeply unsettling. It doesn't swim like a normal fish. Instead of using its tail, it uses its massive red dorsal fin. By sending tiny, fast ripples down the fin, it can hover perfectly still or glide slowly with an eerie smoothness. It doesn't swim so much as it drifts. This leads to its most unnerving behavior, which we've only seen from rare deep-sea ROV footage. The oarfish spends most of its life hanging perfectly vertical in the water, head up, tail down, dangling into the abyss. This isn't random, it's a masterful, ghostly camouflage. In the faint light, its thin, silvery body reflects the blue-black water, making it almost invisible. Imagine you are another deep-sea creature. You're moving through the cold darkness, there's nothing around, and then a shimmering, 30-foot-long silver serpent with a crown of red plumes simply materializes out of the gloom right next to you. It hasn't swum towards you. It hasn't made a sound. It was there the whole time. A silent, vertical ghost. A colossal creature that has mastered the art of not being seen. The deep sea isn't terrified of the oarfish because it's a monster. It's terrified because it's a ghost. This image of a silent spectre brings us to the biggest myth of all. With its size and terrifying look, you'd assume it's a brutal ambush predator. But here, the oarfish delivers its final and maybe most bizarre twist. It is not a predator at all. When scientists have looked at their stomach contents, they don't find fish or squid. They find thousands of tiny organisms. The oarfish is a filter feeder. It eats krill and other microscopic plankton. It doesn't even have teeth. It just has soft gill rakers inside its mouth that act like a net. It simply hangs in the water with its mouth open, sucking in clouds of plankton. This 600-pound, 36-foot-long sea serpent sustains its colossal frame by consuming nothing more than the oceanic equivalent of dust bunnies. Its terrifying appearance, its ghostly camouflage, its massive size, none of it is for hunting. It's all for hiding. The oarfish isn't adapted to be a predator. It's adapted to avoid becoming prey to the actual monsters of the deep. So, if it's not an omen, and it's not a predator, why should anyone be terrified of it? The fear it inspires isn't about being eaten or a coming earthquake. It's a more existential fear. The fear of the unknown. The oarfish is a living paradox. It's a creature of impossible size that feeds on the smallest of prey. Its appearances are not omens, but rare, accidental glitches that give us a glimpse into a world we can barely imagine. Every time one of these tragic giants washes ashore, it's a profound reminder. A reminder that 95% of our planet's ocean is still completely unexplored. The oarfish is a messenger, but not from a sea god. It's a messenger from that abyss. And the message is simple. You have no idea what's down here.